Hi, welcome to another episode of Wealth Beyond Numbers. We continue the conversation with Shannon Interian from Dorian Destinations. And Dorian, I learned so much already about what you do and how you help people with their travel plans. But now I want to know more about you and your business, because you've been doing this for a while. And you have a passion for traveling as well, and you kind of tag along with your clients. You know, that you like to do similar trips and do things as well. But what inspired you to open Dorian Destinations?
So it's wild because, I spent about 6 months in Belgium in 96. I was 18. And I saw how easy it was to get around Europe. And I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. My aunt lives in Belgium. And she's been there now. It's going to be almost 40 plus years. And so when I had visited her and I was working over there, I was like, this is really easy. And then I started going back and forth, with my girlfriends and doing girls' trips. And so I was able to do all of that. And then as I got older and marriage, it was me and my husband and then the kids. And it's always been a part of my life. I never thought in a million years that I would be a travel advisor. That was never, I think back, I'm like, why didn't I do that, 30 something years ago? But having online access, I guess I just figured it was an outdated, career. And I became an educator. And the beauty of being an educator is I have 10 weeks off in the summer. And that never deterred me. I just kept going with the traveling. After we bought our house abroad, I started planning everybody's trips. Like I was happy. I bought my house. It was being used, right? My friends, my family. I had a friend like, I'm going to be there for a month. I had another friend that wanted to be there for a month. I'm like, yes, awesome. That's why I have this place. And it was like, well, can you help me with the bus and this and the train? And how do I get here? And all of a sudden I'm working for free and I'm planning everybody's vacation. And I was like, why aren't I getting paid for this? Like travel agent is still a real deal, right? Like you would think, okay, you have access to the computer. But my girlfriend called me. She's like, oh, me and my mom are going. I don't have the energy to sit here and start researching. Like I'll just pay you. Just come up with a plan. Like just here. And that's kind of like how it happened organically, completely organically. And I think that's what made it beautiful. It wasn't forced. And I was able to leave my full-time career as a teacher.
Wow.
And become a full-time advisor, which is a dream job. I don't mind doing the research. And I think having that education under my belt gives me the patience, and also all of those attention to detail and the planning that maybe other people don't have the patience or energy or even know where to start. They don't, I'm able to do that for them. So for me, that's how it came, to be. It was a total organic, beautiful
That's awesome.
Occurrence. Yeah.
Do you have a specific target market that you look for? Do you have a specific clientele that you look for to work for?
So I'm very lucky that I've done the solo, the groups, the honeymooners. I've done all of that, right? Personally. And I love helping those. I think where I flourish and do my best work is in chaos, because I have a chaotic family. I have 3 daughters. I've traveled with my dog. I travel with my in-laws. So, the more the merrier. I just love chaos. So I love helping those families, usually very busy professionals that are doing a family trip 2 to 3 weeks. That's where I really come in and do the dirty work. I love those type of clients. And I just, those are the clients that I tend to take care of, the ones that are busy. Hey, I want to go here. These are the ideas that I want to do. Make it happen. And then I make it happen,
Nice.
and I think that's where I really kind of is my niche, it's those busy professionals. I don't mind doing the couples, but I also enjoy doing the multi-generational groups, because I do it with my family so easy that I know that it's hard. So if I can make somebody's life easier, then I love doing that.
What's your process? Take me through the process of how you help someone.
So my process is long. I think a lot of people think they talk to me one time and then that's it, but you're kind of stuck with me. I like to meet with my clients. I do a 1 hour complimentary phone call.
Okay.
I like to do a Zoom. I do Zooms. I want to get to know my person. They're investing a lot of money. I want them to be able to trust me. And I know people are busy. I don't have a brick and mortar, so I am virtually. So Zoom is going to be the way that I connect with my clients. I prefer if it's a husband and wife for both of them to be there. I know it's usually hard, but I want to hear about them, who they are, how they travel. I even ask them, what's the worst trip you've been on? Because I want to make sure that I don't do that, How do you like to travel? What's your ideal type of travel? That way I get to know. Maybe I have clients that want to be busy. I mean, I've had clients that are like, what am I doing this day? I need to do something, to where I have clients that are like, this is too much. So I need to get to know them. And budget. That's that intimate conversation. What is your budget? I ask that right off the bat. I rather get that uncomfortable conversation out in the beginning rather than me put together this itinerary that took hours to do. And then I come to them and they're like, oh, this is out of my budget. So I like to have that dirty conversation. Like, what is your budget? What do you feel comfortable paying? Let me know. That way I know if they're fully planned. And so that conversation is like that raw deal, where they want to go, all the hot spots, their must-sees, how they travel. Are they foodies? Are they, adventure? Are they, I got to get that feeling to them. So that's like that one phone call. After we've had that discussion, I do still send a form anyway, because I want everything written down. And I do charge a fee, I charge a flat fee, but all of this is included. Once I get that form is really going to tell me, the real details, that crazy bad word again, budget, the B word. But I try to make them understand that I can do a trip, $30,000, and we could do that same trip $10,000. The experience is going to be very different. So I get a lot of times I don't have a budget. You do. Everybody has a budget. So I always like to say, what do you feel comfortable paying for per hotel room a night? That kind of gives me an idea of where I'm going, or what kind of star hotel do you normally book, right? So then I have that feeling. Once I get that budget, once I've done that phone call, I get that intake form, I get to work. That's where I get to talk to my suppliers overseas, send those emails. This is the part that does take, it could take sometimes 2 days, sometimes it takes 10 days, because I'm sending emails overseas. It takes time for them, and I will build this itinerary for them from the start to finish, whether they want the transfer from leaving their house to the airport to their hotel, those excursions. I put together this beautiful foundation, and you're like, all this work for our foundation? Yes. I put together this foundation. I send it to my clients. I'd say, look it over, let's chat. And then I set up another phone call or Zoom. I know it's a lot of time, but once again, they're entrusting me with their money and to make sure that their experience is what they want. So I usually get, okay, maybe this budget was too much, or, hey, I love this itinerary. Can we add this? Can we take away this? So that's where we kind of go back in with that red, pen, and we delete, we add, we come together. Maybe we'll fine tune that budget a little bit more. Maybe, this hotel, I don't want to, maybe we can go a lower star, but here I want to make sure we really splurge in this town. I'm listening to my clients, and then I give them that final draft. That final draft is like, yep, green light, let's go. And then I go ahead and I start paying all the suppliers. I do what I need to do. And then they are going to start getting their confirmations. And then I like to usually about a week or two, preferably, before my clients leave on their trip, have another Zoom. I told you, you're stuck with me. And I'm like, what is it that you want? Do you want me to add any reservations? Or they'll tell me, I heard about this restaurant, or I heard this. And I'm like, I got you. So I'll make those reservations. I'll make those phone calls. I'll make sure that those little details are taken care of. And I really go through the itinerary with them day by day.
Wow.
So that we can go over with any questions, any mishaps, anything that they may be confused about. It's a lot of information, right? I have an app. So it's right there in their palm of their hand. It goes day by day. Any train tickets, any tour tickets, anything, everything is uploaded in the palm of their hand. And that way they don't have to print papers. And that app also is live and it's connected to their planes. So I even know if their plane is delayed, change of gate, it tells me. It not only informs them, but it tells me. So sometimes I'll shoot my clients a message. Hey, I saw that there was a change of the gate, FYI. Your plane is delayed, just in case, so that they know that I have eyes on them. And then once they get home, I send them a follow-up email.
Wow.
I do. I want to know, what did you like about the trip? What did you hate? I asked them, what about the suppliers? I'm entrusting these people overseas to facilitate this plan that I had, right? We're a team. So I want to make sure that their experience is as good as, that I have had, because usually I'm with these suppliers and I've done the tours. Or if they've had a bad experience, I want to know why. That way I can address the suppliers or maybe change suppliers. So I think that's important. And also I like feedback on my job too. I want to be better. So I take bad or negative. I want to hear, maybe I called you too much, I don't know, but that is a process. It's an ordeal. And I plan people's trips 6 months to a year in advance.
Oh, wow.
So I become friendly with my clients because I get to know them and, they're celebrating a trip. I make sure they have a bottle of Prosecco in their room. And, that's my way to connect with them, right? Because sometimes I'll never even meet these people. It's all via Zoom. And then they come back, That's
true. You describe a lot close to what we do for our clients. We provide a personalized experience. We in a different level, we do manage their investments. We tailor it to them, to their needs, to their objectives, so they can reach their destination, which is, in their case, retirement. Retirement with financial confidence, knowing that they don't have to worry about money. They don't have to worry about their next 10 years of their retirement life, the next 20 years of their retirement life. Now I'm even planning for a client that wants to retire 30 years in advance. So his retirement age, I've noticed is getting shorter. And the reason for that is because they do want to travel and experience the world. One question that I had as you're telling me and sharing this, I'm assuming that you have partners that you work with, and they have global partners that you probably work with, and these are your suppliers?
Yes.
Can you tell me more about that?
So we can't do this alone.
Okay.
And my suppliers, some of them I'm just so lucky to have. I even got a message this morning. Hey, Shannon, you forgot this. I'm like, I'm on it. I have that personal, connection with my suppliers. These suppliers are worldwide, and they are, expertise in whatever it is that I'm using their services for. So I have a particular client. We're going to go back to Italy because that's my favorite supplier. And he does private tours, private boats, yachts, transfers from city to city. He'll do tours, personalized experiences, and I'll shoot him a message. Hey, I have these type of clients. This is what I'm thinking. What can we do? And he's like, okay, let me get back to you. And then we'll circle back. Or if he has new properties, because he does do villas, and I'm like, hey, Shannon, can we catch a Zoom this week? Let's talk. I want to show you my new properties. And whether they're even in the Caribbean, they may have a new tour experience. So they'll put together, which I'm sure everyone has heard, fam trips. And these trips are called familiarization. So what they do is and they're not free. So I know people think that travel agents travel for free, but we don't. But we do get a huge discount. And these suppliers will put together a nice, trip, maybe a weekend trip that you would do for your clients, and give you that experience so that you're able to go back to your client and say, this is what we can do in this particular city, country, or whatever. So those fam trips are great because we get to be familiarized with what they have to offer.
I see.
So those suppliers are great. And when you use the same supplier over and over again, you do make connections and relationships, and then they kind of know who you are, what you're expecting. And we have that relationship that I have that honest connection. This is it. Another thing that I love my supplier that he did for me, my client had mentioned that her grandmother came from a town, and I had mentioned it to my supplier, and he's like, Shannon, we passed that town when we picked them up. They were going to do a transfer from Florence to Portofino. And I was like, okay. And he's like, I'm going to take her to that town. So I was like, are you kidding me? He's like, don't worry. So I wanted to surprise her, but they were like asking me like a million questions. And finally I had to tell the husband, just letting you know, I made a point, like we're going to put her in the town that her grandmother grew up in. And they were able to do that. Like that wasn't even part of it, but that's the beauty of working with those suppliers. And I was able to give that little surprise and, just that's the best part of working with suppliers. We can't do this alone. I can't be in Europe or in Africa. I can't do those things. So I need to have those relationships.
Yeah. And that also comes with the experience that you bring to the table as well, because you've been to Italy so many times, you know the entire country. So if somebody wants to do a specific trip in a specific area, you can help them, provide them that experience. Because that's what I'm learning today. Travel is an experience. What's the most rewarding part of your job?
I know this is so silly, but I love when I get pictures from my clients from their hotel room and they're like really happy. Like they're like, look at this view. And I'm like, yes. Like, I know that they're happy. I love those pictures. Or, they'll send me a picture, like a cheers, like a glass of wine that they're cheering to me, or this was amazing. Those little messages that I get, those little text messages, those make me happy. It's like I'm doing because you worry, like, oh my God, this is what, you're trusting other parts of the world to execute your plan. You're like, I hope this goes well, right?
Of course.
It's scary. And then when it does and it goes so seamless and you get those little messages, you're like, man, like this was great. This was worth it. Like I'm so stressed over here, but then I get that little picture and I'm like, okay, this is good. This is good.
That's sweet. That's sweet. I know we just had our trends, but can you tell me about any popular destinations that you're seeing now? And my background is Peruvian, so I know that there was a trend where Machu Picchu was very hot and a very popular destination. I don't know if are there now new destinations or popular places that people are looking for, or they're searching for?
Yeah, so expeditions like on the rise.
Are they?
And Slovenia, which is like really strange. Like that was never on the topic, like so that Slovenia, but now Antarctica and the Galapagos Islands and these expedition boats that are like there's smaller boats. They can go through those Drake passages and those hardcore waters all the way down there. And those ships come with scientists on the boat.
Wow.
So a lot of people don't know that. All of them do, whether it's the luxury cruise lines, even the less luxury. There's a scientist on their boat because it's so hard to get down there. And then on the boat, they'll teach lessons to the kids and even to the adults about the ecosystem and all of that, which I'm a nerd. So I would be eating all of that up. And then they get sometimes they have to stay there, right? So they're using that boat to get down to Antarctica. And then what everyone's loving is that you're going to a continent that's very hard to get to, and you get to do things with the penguins. It's nearly untouched. Only 5% of the world ever goes there. Wow. And so that's like a big trend. Like people want to do that off the beaten path and the smaller cruise boats to get there, and it's like how many people can say I went to Antarctica, like, and so those seem to be on the rise these days.
That's amazing.
Yeah. That's
so cool. Any other destination?
No, Morocco's hot. I'm going to be headed there. That seems like to be a big one. Tanzania, also in Africa, another hot spot that seems to be pretty big. Those
and it's mainly experiences, as you shared.
Yeah, I think it's the experience. I think, and I'll give you an example. We're not just doing Morocco. I did hire a private driver for the whole entire trip because I want to get to know Morocco. I didn't want to be, trucked to one place without another, without talking to somebody that's from there and to get that experience. This is a big trip. My kids have never been to Africa, and I've never been to Morocco. So this is exciting. Like this is a new place for all of us. So I want that experience. If it was, I want to hear about what they have to tell me. I want to hear about all of these things. So we did, are doing that experience. We're staying in the Sahara Desert for 2 nights.
Wow.
And I want to be able my kids to see a different culture, different religion. It's very Muslim there. So I want to expose them to that. To me, that's so important. And so I think that's like on the rise. It's funny when I'm like, oh, I'm going to Morocco. I was like, really? Like, but it is. It's a hot spot. And Tanzania, Malta, another one, is big. Those are like the hot places these days.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you hope that any of your girls ever join you in your practice?
It's funny. My oldest, she's my stepdaughter. She's amazing, and she is doing hospitality. So she's kind of like in my little realm here. So that's pretty cool. I would love for her to do some stuff like this right now. She's doing events and hospitality and stuff, but I could totally see her getting into it. She loves to travel. And my little one loves to do the research. So she's cute. She's like, she had like a research paper. She had to do like Argentina. And she was like, this is so much fun. I'm like, I know. Like, this is amazing. And my middle one, she's more of an outdoors girl, she likes to travel and stuff like that, but I don't think she needs to. Like, yeah, I think also too, I drive her nuts. She's 16. I'm like, let's go. It's like another trip. Like she'll get there. But definitely, I see my little one. I think she likes that research and exploring. And like you said, when you see your son, like I love when we're somewhere. She's like, Mommy, that building is so beautiful, and I'm like, it is. Like, and for me at this Morocco trip, I know it seems so crazy. We're leaving Christmas Day, but we were supposed to go in February for my birthday, and my daughter's doing a show, so we moved it to a time where the kids don't have school, and it just so be it for Christmas. But what I'm really excited about is that they have been all over the Caribbean, they've been all over Europe, but they've never been to a place like this. And for me, I'm excited. This is just to see it in their eyes and to see them take it in, and something so foreign. I don't think they know what they're in for. So for me, that's my experience, is to live it through them. So you make me emotional, but I think that's important. I'm giving them the best education I can give them.
That's
and I was a teacher for 20 years. The best education is to take those kids on those trips.
That's so sweet. And it reminds me of me taking Alex as well on our trips. And the memories that when I ask him, what's the best memories that you have when you were 7 years old or when you were 9 years old? He's now 11. He says, I remember when you took me skiing in Utah, because it was just that experience that he did something that he was new. It was the first time he did it. It was the first time he saw snow. It was the first time of many things that he did. And it just, to me, that just made the whole trip worth it as well. So you create memories that last forever.
The bonding.
And you do it better with people that you love the most. You mentioned you're traveling in Christmas Day. Are they dates in the year that are great dates for people to travel, or it's just whenever you can afford it?
Yes, there is. Every country has their high and low season. Okay. So let's go back to Italy again. Let's go right there. In the summer, you're looking at a $1,500 plane ticket. But if you're going to go early fall, it's going to be about a $700 ticket.
Okay.
So right there, that's, and also all the kids are back in school. So, it's less tourists. And also it's like, if you have the time, right? I shouldn't say this, but I do take my kids out of school to travel. I do. I really do. One, I want to beat the crowds. Obviously, cost effective, right? We're a large family, so I got to pay for 5 plane tickets, right? So you got to figure those out. And also seasons, like you want to be able to see different places, different seasons. The Caribbean is usually more expensive in the winter, because that's the time that everybody wants to go there. So it just really depends where you want to go, the time of year you want to go. And then there's that rumor that's like, if you book your tickets on Tuesday and Wednesday.
Is that true?
Can be. It's also too, they say that midweek to currency is better to exchange because the rate kind of plateaus on Wednesday. Hence what probably causes the shift of the plane tickets. But what usually happens, also your algorithm, let's just talk right there. So clean your little cookies.
Your history.
Yeah. But also on the weekends, what are you doing? You're drinking with your friends. Oh, let's book a plane ticket. Let's go. Right. So yes, like you're going to find it. And then Google has a great tool, guys. Like if you don't know, like Google, you can go ahead, put in the dates that you want, and it will let you know if it's gone down or low, or it will show the history of when the ticket is higher than normal. So I tell everybody, put that in there, like I'm all about deals. If you're able to get a deal, especially on a flight, go for it, but no, that's no, no. It is what it is. Yeah.
Thank you so much. It's been so informative. So you have such a wealth of knowledge and experience I think that's valuable for all the people that work with you, that you bring to the table, that gives them peace of mind, gives them a wonderful experience, gives them the ability to do something that on their own would have not been the same. That's amazing. So it's a valuable tool that you do and service that you provide. Thank you, Shannon. So that ends our podcast. Stay tuned because the next one is going to be more fun. It's what drives you crazy. As you know, in our industries, there are things that always drives us a little crazy, and what we do or frustrate us or like stops your heartbeat or
gives me chest pains.
Or chest pain, as you mentioned. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode. As we like to say at Coral Wealth Management, retirement and financial confidence starts here. Thank you.